is Rogue Wing, Coraline, or Helen RD over at Starship Modeler. Welcome to the workshop. Okay, it's amazing the difference taking the time to find the right materials to do what you're trying to do can actually make in a project. Most of yesterday, I was working on birch plywood, trying to make the mounts for my lift fans. That hole and the cut represents, about hour and a half, 2 hours work to get one piece. Those 6 mounts with the wheels in to act as the lift fans, admittedly there's more detail to come. Those 6 mounts took me all of about an hour and a half. And that's including time to rough cut, sand out the openings. Basically I cut the base pattern out of the balsa, and then using a X-Acto knife did the rough cut of the hole, and then sanded it to fit the fans. Now I've still got some detail work to do on those, of course, because right now they just kind of look like wheels stuck in wood, but that's another step down the road. We're gonna make it, I think. I've still got, what, almost 6 weeks? I think I can do it. Okay, figured while I had the engine mounts out, I'd get a quick look at about where I want them to lay out in relation to the deck. And it looks like I've got a fairly good idea. One advantage this layout gives versus the movie version is this runway. I don't know how well, yeah, the lines are still showing up just barely. There's a landing strip down this part of the deck. This version, as long as you're on target here, you don't have to worry about winding up in a lift fan if you miss your landing there. I mean, you should be able to clear that lift fan without too much problem. It's not like the other one where the fan's right off the runway. But that's just a rough layout as to what we're going to be looking at, as far as layout wise. I may flip these two around so the angles go toward the back, because as I'm looking at it, yeah, that'll probably look better. Play that part by ear when we get to it. Alright, this is like the third update for today alone. Got to thinking about the hover fans, decided I needed to add just a little more detail to them before I even think about screening over them or anything. So what I did was I took some pieces of card, cut them to the right diameter to fit inside the wheels that I'm using for my hover fan housings. This way, from the top you'll have the blades there, from the bottom you'll have like a support mechanism, and I'll do some detailing to make it look like the actual motor mechanisms coming out of the bottom there, kind of like the actual helicarrier. But what this does is gives me something actually looking like the rotors that would actually be inside the hover fans. Stay tuned. Okay, haven't gotten any actual work done on the Helicarrier, but did get some stuff in the mail that will help me out greatly on this build. Start off with, picked up couple of frets of photo etch. This one's actually from, shit, can't remember who did this one. Anyway, I picked them up from Squadron. This one has a bunch of ladders and walkways in 1/700th scale. This one's from Edward, or Edouard, depending on how you pronounce it. And it's got a bunch of 1/700th hatches, both closed and open, as well as a bunch of 1/700th windows. Also useful in selling the scale are 1/700th scale aircraft that I picked up in that same shipment from Squadron. These are by Trumpeter, and the camera's probably not going to pull up the detail on them, but these are really well detailed for the scale. They've actually got engraved panel lines. As you can see on the F-14 Tomcat here, you've got the option for wings open or wings swept back. The landing gear are actually separate pieces. Got some Su-33 flankers, just because I felt like putting something other than, or besides just U.S. aircraft aboard her. Got some F-18 Hornets, and of course no carriers fully equipped without at least a few choppers. Like the F-14, the chopper's got an option, in this case of either open rotors getting ready to fly or folded rotors for storage. All four of these come with decals. Granted, it's just insignia and they're really tiny, but all four of these sets do come with decals. They're 6 sprues per set, so you know I've got 4 dozen aircraft here. 4 dozen aircraft here, plus whatever I decide to cobble out of other things. So this could be interesting. Okay, we're actually off shaky cam for a bit, mostly because this update's small enough I can actually show it from the workbench. What we've got here, this seemingly innocuous blob of balsa, is what's going to be my bridge superstructure. And literally it's just a shape I kind of put together from balsa. I wanted it to look unique, not like a normal aircraft carrier superstructure. And once I seal the balsa up and sand it good, it'll look right. I've got the hatches to make it, you know, to give it the doors at the right scale. But that's the rough. And that's roughly how she's going to look on the deck. Yeah, it's not going to let me roll it over. Well, I'll take advantage of it 2 ways. You know, basically, it gives me room. Gives me a smaller superstructure than what the kit would have given me. And at this point, like I said, it's basically ready to be sealed, and we'll go from there.